All right, let's talk about Tron Ares, or as I'm calling it, Tron un desmadre, bro. A complete mess. I mean, this movie is complete basura, bro. You know, there are some movies that make you angry, some that make you happy, and then there's movies like Tron Ares that just make you tired, bro. A deep soul level tired. The kind of tired you feel like after helping your Theo move a couch for 3 hours. I mean, you didn't want to do it, nothing was accomplished, and now your back hurts. So after a decade of waiting, Disney finally decided to grace us with a third Tron movie. Second movie was amazing, first movie was amazing, and now we're getting the third. And they delivered a film that feels amazing. It's like this film sucked. It feels less like a passion project and more like a corporate mandate that someone found stuffed in a filing cabinet. This movie's one big idea, the entire concept it's built on, is what if we took the coolest part of Tron, the grid, and spent most of the movie avoiding it? I mean, genius. Pure genius. It's a film that could have been written by ChatGPT, to be honest. It's a film that fundamentally misunderstands its own appeal. The magic was always about being sucked into an alien digital world, so why don't we suck everyone out of it? Seeing a light bike on the streets of LA isn't cool, it's just weird. It has all the visual grace of a Super Bowl commercial for a car that does not exist. And let's be fair, I mean, is the movie pretty? It's cool looking. Sure, the visuals are cool, it's slick, and the action sequences are polished. I mean, that was pretty cool, the fights and stuff like that. Some of the music, or most of the music, were pretty much bangers. I mean, it's loud, it's intense, it gets your head nodding. But a cool paint job and loud sound system doesn't mean the car can drive fast, and this thing is running on fumes. I mean, what's that saying? You can't put lipstick on a pig. The story, and I'm being generous by calling it that, is about a power struggle at Encom. On one side, you know, we have the generic bratty Disney tech bro villain played by Evan Peters who wants to use the grid for military tech, which is actually pretty cool, but you know, here it's bad. On the other hand, our hero, a programmer played by Greta Lee, who of course is a minority woman as the lead role. Typical Disney now, who decides to use the grid, or whatever the new tech is, which brings stuff to the real world from the grid for good things, right? I mean, honestly, this movie spends so little time developing her, though. I knew almost nothing about her by the end, and honestly, I was okay with it. She has the on-screen presence of a default desktop background. The actress playing her makes Brie Larson's work in Captain Marvel look like a master class.
Congratulations, Agent Fury. You have finally asked a relevant question. Congratulations, Agent Fury.
Finally asked relevant questions. She just sort of exists in every scene, a placeholder for a character they never bothered to write. And then there's Jared Leto as Ares, the sentient program who becomes self-aware. He's supposed to be our main character, our window into the experience. Instead, he's like a black hole of charisma. The performance is wooden, robotic, and completely lacking in the wonder this character should have had. It's less like watching AI or program or code discover humanity for the first time, and more like watching a GPS calculate a new route in real time. Recalculating, I have feelings now. The script treats AI with all the nuance of a movie from the 80s. It's just cliches stacked on top of cliches. They never dig into the cool questions. How does a program experience the world for the first time? Does he need to eat, sleep? Does he get hangry? Quién sabe, bro. The movie has no time for that. Instead, it's just another chase scene. The rest of the cast is just a collection of wasted opportunities. Gillian Anderson is there to collect a paycheck in a role that demands absolutely nothing from her. And Jeff Bridges shows up for a cameo that feels less like a nod to the fans and more like he was just on contract and obliged to be there for 5 minutes. It all comes down to a messy, unfocused script that feels like a first draft. The dialogue just explains what's happening on screen in case you were looking at your phone, which honestly everyone in the theater was. Everyone was passed out. I even had to drink a Red Bull to stay up. By the time the credits rolled, I was just left with one question: what was the point? Honestly, this isn't a story that needed to be told. They could have just followed up from the previous storyline, honestly. It's a product created to fill a slot on a release schedule. It's a lazy, unimaginative attempt to cash in on an IP they don't understand. It delivers nothing for the audience except 2 hours of soul-crushing boredom. So, should you watch Tron Ares? Look, if you just want pretty lights and loud noises, you know, maybe wait for it to hit streaming or get it free somewhere. But if you actually like the other movies for their ideas and their sense of wonder, do yourself a favor, save your money, and go do literally anything else. Go organize your sock drawer, go cut the grass. It'll be a more fulfilling experience. Anyways, that's all I've got. Peace.